Hi everybody, how are you doing? Jo here. If you want to grab yourself a brew and a cheeky snack, we can have a bit of a catch up. I've got a fun little project to share with you today. Haven't been with you for a few days. I've had a bit of a bug, and thank you. I've had 3 of our lovely followers email me and ask me if I'm okay. Just a little bug, bit of a migraine, but I feel much better now. So I'm back, and thank you for noticing that I was a bit off colour with my last videos. It's nice that you care. So what we're going to do today is we're going to create this. And it's a little tag, but what I've done is just added, I thought with these beautiful new lodge stamps that we've got at Lavinia, it'd be an ideal place, a hook for putting your keys on. And I thought, what an ideal gift to give somebody if they were moving house. I mean, you could even, if you have pets, you could have it for the dog lead, or I just thought it'd be nice to actually create something that had a use. And we're going a bit blue, and the reason for that is I had a workshop with my Lavinia ladies at the weekend, and we went blue. Look, we did some Christmas designs, and we were definitely in a bit of a blue mood. Look, we created these 4 lovely cards. So once I had those colours and inks on my desk, I thought, you know what, I'm going to use them for my YouTube today. So hence, that's how this, it's nice to just explain where all the inspiration comes from, because sometimes you must wonder sort of when we come back, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. So to start off with this, I've used a white board tag. And again, these tags come in various sizes. You can get them from various places. I just Google it online. And for me, I just adore using them. And I've got to be honest, I found this in my little, I don't know about you, but I have one of those little tins with odds in. And this, I think, is from a net curtain. So to start off with, what I'm going to do is I decided that I wanted my hook about here. And I just want to make myself a bit of a, normally you would have a bradawl to do this, but I don't need one. Do make sure your finger isn't directly behind it. And I just want to make myself a bit of a hole, just so I've got a guide as to where, for me, it's easier to do it this way. Now, again, because I've just used one that was in my tin, I haven't been out to buy one. You will notice at the back that it actually pokes out. Now, for me, I've just put some sticky pads on there, but I also evened it up and put some sticky pads on the bottom, so then when I hang it on the wall, it will just stand proud. But I dare say you could get these that are shorter lengths. I mean, you could even put a bit of blue tack on there, or cork. Again, us crafters, we use what we've got, don't we? So I'm going to take that out now. I mean, I was thinking you could even, if you wanted, actually have three hooks in a row. But for me, I want to see my design. So I'm a bit funny like that. I only want to have 1 hook. And I'm going to start off with a speckled egg. And like I say, we're using what's on my desk. So we're going to do that direct to paper technique. So we've done this a few times before, and it just takes the whiteness off the tag. So I hold the ink pad, if you remember, about 45 degrees and nice light swipes. There's no need to be over heavy or overthink it. I don't need a lot of colour on there. Just that nice light background. And that's all I'm going to use for that. And then I'm going to come in and do some stamping. So because it is like stamping on paper, really, I would treat it as paper. So I've got my copy of paper. And I'm going to bring in this lovely little, I think this one is Toad Lodge. And just put him square. And the colour I've decided to use is the Twilight. And it's a lovely sort of deep blue. As I say, it's a definite blue phase. And again, me being me, I'm just going to turn things round. I sort of got into using blues. I think it's nice to just use a different colour and use it for a while. So I'm going to stamp that, and I want it straight, sort of about there. And as I say, nice firm pressure. These lovely thin blocks help. Now again, because we're going on to this whiteboard, just want to give it a minute for the ink to soak in. Just make sure we get all that lovely detail. There we go, absolutely beautiful. Now again, I'm just going to give my stamp a bit of a rub, because with it being the blue ink, for me, I don't want that to contaminate depending what colour I use next time. So that goes back on the acetate. And then I'm going to come in with one of the silhouette foliage. And I love these two, especially this one, the little wallflower one. It's, dare I say, a real favourite. And again, I'm just going to stamp this down the bottom. And I want the grass, this lovely grassy bit, to almost be at the base and ground my design. And I'm using the same blue for all. Just check you can still see, yeah. So I'm going to come off the tag. And again, it's almost, when you use these tags, you almost need a bit more oomph than you would on your paper or card. But you'll get used to how much. I'm just going to overlap this slightly, because I think 4 just fits nicely along the bottom. Just another one there. And again, just going to give my stamp a wipe with using the blue ink. I have to say, I'm building up quite a range now of my VersaFine Clair inks. I do like getting all the different coloured ones. Now I'm going to come in now with one of these fairy charms. These are absolutely gorgeous and I do keep using them. But this time I'm going to use this lovely bell one. So there's 3 and we're going to use it as a flower. And that's the beauty of these. They can hang down, you can stamp them sideways. But you can also use them. I think I used it as a flower, was it last week? I lose track of the days. Was it maybe last week when I did the poppy card? And so we're going to have one there. And we'll have a few of these. So we'll have another one there. Again, and I'm altering the height. I want it to look as natural as possible. We'll put one just peeping in there. And then one there. One there. And then we'll put a couple lower down. Just adds a bit of interest further down. So here, where we've got sort of a bit of white space, and also quite often you do get flowers growing lower, don't you? And I don't want them all at the same, so let's just alter the angle. We want this to look natural, but it just adds a bit of interest here. So I'm thinking, yeah, let's go there. And that doesn't overcook it, that's just nice, that, yeah, I like that. And again, I am just wiping every stamp. So just because I want that nice and clean next time I pick them up. Now I'm going to come in with one of the other charms has got a heart on. And I do love this one. Actually, I love them all. And this, I'm thinking, let's just hang it down. So when I haven't got my keys on here, I've got a nice heart hanging down from the hook. There we go. If I just bring in the finished design look, can you see? So I just want it to look like that heart's just hanging from my hook there. So that's the idea behind that. And again, give this a bit of a wipe. And I know there are some of you that don't clean your stamps, and that's fine. Maybe me, I just have to. And it just saves me getting ink all over my fingers. Now for the top, I'm just going to come in with one of the pound stamps. I think it might be the maple leaf, this one. But it's one of the mini ones. And I've got to be honest, these, as you know, I just think are such good value for money. Whenever I'm putting an order in, I always just add a couple more if there's ones that I haven't got. And we'll just have some first and second generation stamping, and I'll just frame it at the top and just down the sides, look. Do a little bit more there and there, and then if I turn it round, yeah, I think that's framed that beautifully. I'm happy with that. So I'll give that stamp a bit of a wipe. Just give my fingers a bit of a wipe, and then just going to blot that. Again, remember, you're versifying Claire, it's that slower drying ink. So obviously, just see if any comes off. It's always worth either whizzing your heat tool over it or just giving it a blot. But I think we're okay. And I mean that, you could leave it like that if you wanted. I am going to add some colour to my lodge, but what I'm thinking first is I'm going to come in and add some stencil work in the background. So I've got my lovely stencil brush and I'm using Prize Ribbon. Beautiful, lovely colour. And I've got one of the new stencils, and this one's called Charming. And with this, my biggest thing was, shall I have it up or down? No, I like it going up. So, and again, I'm just holding this. I'm going to pop some ink on my stencil brush, but then I'm going to take it off on my mat, and I'm going to use that as my palette. And I'm going to start at the bottom because that's where I want the colour the deepest. Now I could take this down, but I'd much rather just hold it with my fingers. And then I'm going to use a flicking motion, and I'm going to be mindful. I can see, look, where the cottage is. So I'm just going to be mindful. And it's a bit of a flick. Now, if I want to see how much colour I've added, remember, just lift it up and have a look. And look, it's amazing how much colour. I'll pick a little bit more up. I'll just add a bit more at the base and then flick. It's a real flick. I definitely want more colour at the base. Have another look. Oh, that's looking really nice. Just a little bit more here. And I'm happy with that. I think that's lovely. If I bring that closer, can you see? So it's that nice detail in the background, but it doesn't overpower. What I do want is just to put a little edge under my lodge. Now, I could get my Hill mask out, but I've got to be honest, I forgot to get it out. So I'm just going to use the edge of this stencil. You don't want to see me rummaging. It is behind me. But I'm just going to do as I would. So if you've got your Hill masks, use one of those. There we go. But I'm just going to use the edge of that. There we go, improvisation. That's grounded it well, hasn't it? And again, I'm just going to clean up here. And what I'll do is I'm going to leave that ink on there because you know me, I'm going to spritz that later and create myself a nice background. But what I do want to do is just wipe my fingers just to stop the chance of me getting ink everywhere. What I will do though is I want to just darken these edges. So with the ink that's on my stencil brush, I'm just going to come round and add this ink just round these edges. These brushes are so versatile. Now what I may do is, I'm not going to add any at the bottom. No, I like that. A little bit round the trees, look, just to add that sort of shade where the foliage is. And again, we've blotted the ink so it won't run down the sides. Now I don't want it too dark at the bottom. I want to still see my pattern. So that's enough. I'm happy with that. And what I'm going to do is add a little bit of colour. Now I want to keep it to blues, so I've got some of my Inktense pencils here, and I've got a variety sort of different blues, and I'm just going to come in and just add a little bit more colour. So we'll colour the door. Let's have a nice light colour and a darker colour. Now again, you know I always say this, but at home you will take your time. I'm just coming in. So I'm adding a darker blue underneath that lovely vine and at either side. just because that'll help give me a bit of, although I'm just doing sort of blue tone on tone colouring, I'm not doing anything really fancy. I still want to make it look a bit 3D if I can. So if I come in with my lighter colour now, and I almost want to leave a little patch in the middle, lighter, and that'll just help make the cottage look a bit 3D. Then I've got sort of a lilac-y colour, and again when I'm colouring the stones I'm almost just going round, leaving an area in the middle. And that is very, very quick colouring, isn't it? So we'll just come in with, again, a piece of copy paper, so my brush isn't too wet, and I'll just come in and we'll just activate those Inktense pencils. And again, I start at the edges where the colour's deepest, and then just move it into the middle so it's going lighter, and we've got that nice light area. Always take a little bit of that water off. And again on the bottom one. And the colour really does intensify. Then we'll come in with some white in there and just blend it. Right, just change colour. Just activate the door. Nice blue door. And then the stones here. And the steps. Now what I will do with my deepest of my colours, I think that's a nice deep colour, just add a little bit under where the path is there, and we'll just, again, just add a bit of water to that. There we go. That just gives that a bit of something, doesn't it? Now, when it comes to the sparkle, you've got choices. So you can come in with your white gel pen, and we can add ourselves some of the nice white highlights. And some dots. Just think, if somebody's moving house and they've gone to a number, you could put a number on the door, couldn't you? That would be lovely. And like I say, this hasn't taken long, has it? Now, rather than add too much with my white highlight, what I'm going to do is come in with this Signo pen, and it's the silver one, because... Oh, where have I put my... Did you see where I put it? Oh, there it is. My little hook is silver, and I'm thinking it'll go nicely with it, won't it? So if I come down here with the silver, what I want to do is just get... Just going to add a little bit of yellow in here for this highlight and round the door. Right, I can put that away. And I just want to loosen that colour off a bit there for that highlight. That looks better, prefer that. Right, so back to the silver, and what I'm going to do is just add some silver highlights. So where it would just catch, I don't want to pop glitter on this because I don't want the keys sometimes, I don't want it shedding. I'm going to put this on my wall. So I'd like a bit of sparkle, and these Signo pens are gorgeous for sparkle. And this vine will just sparkle beautifully. And it can just, on my flower there, we'll just add some there, some round the door. Just a bit where it catches those stones. And then I'm going to just add some dots around my leaves. These could be berries, they could be little fireflies, could be fairy orbs. And if I bring this up to show you, and I'm hoping I can catch that sparkle, just to show you that it does actually sparkle. Not very good at this, am I? I think I need to go on one of those learn how to use a camera lessons. I need to go on somebody's workshop, don't I? But honestly, believe me, that sparkle is there. Now, the finishing touch for me is I'm going to flick some of my white Posca. So shake it up. Now, again, if you're not into your white Posca, you don't have to do this. I always say that because I know not everybody is. I always keep my white Posca that way up, by the way, upside down in my tin, in my lovely, it's still going, look. How long ago did I do this? I bet if we look, it was a while, but it's still going nice and strong, and it's great for my Posca pens. Now, I'm going to add a sentiment, and I'm just going to put happiness, and that's off the blessing set. Now, when I cut card, I often have strips like this. So what I tend to do is stamp a sentiment quite a few times. If I'm stamping a sentiment once, I'll stamp it 3 or 4 times, and then I just keep them together. And then if I, you know, for those cards, I tend to leave a lot of cards without sentiments. And then I've got a selection then ready. And just so this matches, let's add some blue. Again, and I'm using what ink's on my brush. You'd be amazed how much ink will stay on your brush. And also, we don't want to overcook this. If I went back in the ink, it might be too deep. So with whatever was on my brush, look, get rid of those bits. So again, that's another tip for you. You'd be amazed. It saves you using ink, extra ink, but also it saves you overcooking it if you're somebody who can be a bit heavy-handed. Now again, let's have a look at this. So I'm thinking this looks lovely in this corner. I still like it in this corner. I think it balances well. Could put it up there. No, I like it down here. It is funny, isn't it? We get, I think, there. And then for me, what I'm going to do is I've got some sticky pads. But as I say, it might be you find cork or a piece of blue tack. But what I'm going to do is just pop that behind there, look. As I say, ideally, I could have brought a little hook with less of a long, but I wasn't going out buying one. Us crafters, we like to use what we've got, don't we? And what I've found is if I just screw this in, and then it'll go through my tag into my foam at the back. And there we go, that's in quite tightly now. And that's absolutely finished. And ready, as I say, just need a number on there, and that's ready for somebody for a new home. And how lovely to give a card, but also a gift. And that's perfect for the keys. Now, if they didn't want to actually put the keys on it, you could make a little note or a little tag that says, welcome to your new home. I mean, so many things you could use it for. I mean, you could put a key, or how romantic would that be? Here's the key to my heart. There we go. So you're never too old for romance, are you? So I'll bring in the one that I created earlier, and there's the one I created today. I just thought today it would be nice. I was feeling so much better. I thought I just wanted to pop in and have some fun and have a lovely little catch up with you. So I'm hoping you enjoy that. I'm hoping it's give you some ideas of just something different you can do. And like I say, didn't take long. Now, if you were worried, if this was, say, going in a bathroom, say we're going to hang something on there, I would just put some spray varnish on it. And then if it's in a kitchen and you think you're going to be doing a lot of cooking where there's steam, again, just put yourself some spray varnish on it and it will protect everything perfectly. So thanks for joining me, and thanks for your lovely comments. Honestly, it does mean a lot to me. You're such a lovely bunch on here. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. We've got a bank holiday weekend in the UK. So let's hope it's some nice weather. Get a few cheeky coffees outside. You take care. Love and hugs. Bye for now.